the Fade 5 podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here. Nathaniel Lundy, the good sir. It is indeed another Friday edition of the Fade 5 podcast. Let's not waste a second of time, shall we? We already got tickets in hand, and we're grabbing a seat on the Honk Plus Bus, our favorite wager. Maybe over the entire slate of weekend action, maybe even tonight. And actually, Lundy, I already see what you were going for. He is going to be throwing some fastballs and hopefully going to be cashing in. Major League Baseball's coming down to the final stretch, which means very few opportunities left for you to cash in on the full slate of games. Good sir, plus 100 odds or greater. What do you got?
I think this might be my favorite bet. I've got some really fun bets, I think, for this weekend, Brad, but this one might actually be my favorite as we kick off the weekend. 8-game hitting streak.
Yeah.
5 home runs over the course of that 8 games. And in fact, in the last 5 games, multi-hit in all of them.
Yeah.
And stroking a 583 batting average. It's Michael Harris II. Give me the over on 1.5 total bags for Mr. Harris. That one, the best odds right now, plus 110 at BetMGM, plus 105 over at DraftKings. It's plus odds basically everywhere, but BetMGM's got him bounced up to the plus 10. I already gave you the numbers in terms of the streak that he is on right now. And as we go into this final weekend, and in particular on this Friday night, the only plays I'm looking for are plays with teams that have something to play for.
Yep.
And Atlanta obviously does. I know everything has been hosed up by the hurricane for them, and so we wind up with a double header on Monday. Yikes. Between them and the Mets, which could decide a whole lot of stuff. But I don't think Atlanta wants to wait to get to Monday to find out exactly what that's going to be. So we're going to take Michael Harris, who, as I said, is absolutely en fuego right now at the plate. And I need him on the total bags at a plus 110. Got a couple more baseball plays for you coming up, but that's how we're going to start things off on this Friday Plus Bus.
Yeah, just go ahead and match the Roman numerals in your last name, Michael Harris, and you're cashing in on the total bases. I like that call quite a bit. I'm going to go to the Junior Gridiron, and let's go to Provo, and a team that's not going to be playing at home, but they're on the road, and I'm wacko in Waco, baby. I think BYU goes into Baylor and scores the dub. I will take him on the money line at plus 140 there at BetMGM. I know what you're already thinking. Well, Brad, this is a classic. You got to fade the ranked team on the road. But they're not favored. Usually that's the narrative that applies. If they're favored in a tightly contested game, at least what the sportsbook believes, you go with the home dog. I'm actually going to go with the road dog, who's going to be barking and earning their milk bones in this contest. I think the Cougs are showing up and showing out. They've been a sensational team defensively, number 15 in the country, according to College Football Insiders in EPA per play data. Decent offensively, number 52. And you look at Baylor. Okay, yeah, they're coming off the very high that they experienced for a brief moment until the final play of the game against CU last week, and that, come from behind stunner Hail Mary that just utterly shocked them. They could be in disarray at this point. It could be a nosedive as a result of it mentally, and I think the physical product of the field is also going to suffer. You look at Baylor, number 87, EPA per play offense this season, number 60. That is it in EPA per play defensive projection. At College Football Insiders, BYU 29.80, Baylor 18.27. They give the Cougs an 80.78% chance to win straight up on the money line, and they're getting points in this game. They're 3.5-point dogs. That's why I like them to take this sucker straight up, plus 140 there at BetMGM. With those bets on the board, let's get after it with another Friday edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero cinco here on the countdown. Let's go with a guy that is a viable Clydesdale. He is an absolute workhorse in place of the CMC Football Factory, who right now is in Germany. getting some treatment, getting another opinion on the Achilles tendonitis. Who the hell knows when and if we'll even see Christian McCaffrey for a single down this NFL regular season. But the guy that is filling his absence has been nothing short of dynamite. And I think light awake, and he is set to explode once again. Give me Jordan Mason, numero 5 on the countdown on the over, not rush yards, but rush attempts. It's a high number at 19.5, but I think he gets to at least 2-0 taking on the New England Patriots. The 49ers are the most heavily favored team on the entire week 4 slate. They are double-digit favorites. They're at home against New England, making that cross-continental trip. I think they're going to be able to take care of business. I think it's going to be a positive game script, really from beginning to end. Yeah, I mean, New England respectable, number 14 to rush EPA defense. The most rush attempts they have given up in a game so far was to Breece Hall. In week 3, they gave up 16 in that game. But, of course, he's in more of a kind of a loose RBBC with Braylon Allen. Jordan Mason, he didn't lead the field. He's getting 92.2% of the opportunity share. That's the second highest in the NFL. He's playing nearly 80% of the overall snaps, the fourth most of any running back so far in the young year. He's got 67 rush attempts. That's numero uno among all plowshares, averaging 22.3 per game. Specifically, over the first 3 games, he went 20 rush attempts, 20 rush attempts, and 19 rush attempts. You might say, well, it's trending in the wrong direction there, Evans. It's probably going to be like 18 or 17. But no! I think from beginning to end, San Francisco is going to be in control. So as a result, they're going to be feeding the ball to the belly of Jordan Mason, who's going to salt away the clock and cash in late with at least 20 ground attempts against those Patriots. Minus 120 there at BetMGM. Number 5 on the countdown today, Lundy FADE or FOLLOW.
I'll roll with you on this one because I think they're just going to keep giving him the ball. This is just, as you just pointed out, you gave all the numbers that go with it, but this is just how I think the game script is going to go. You're going to continue to just hand it to him, and you're going to hope that Christian McCaffrey is not just celebrating Oktoberfest, but is in fact getting some medical help. I'm just saying, it's Oktoberfest, man. I mean, you never know. Yeah. That might be what he's doing, Brad. Let's be honest. That might be what he's doing. It might be, I need a second opinion. Yeah, that second opinion is a stein the size of your noggin.
I'll take all the steins and chug a lug, baby, because Jordan Mason, we're cashing on the over on rush attempts.
Number 4.
All right, numero 4 here on the Fade at 5 countdown. Cue the minute work. I'm going to live in the land down under, Lundy, on one of the biggest disappointments in the gaming universe, especially those fantasy managers who spent high drive capital on this individual, and that being Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts. And I am under 183.5 pass yards against the Steelers at a minus 114. Juice pulled this from FanDuel Sportsbook. And right now, at tape time, FanDuel still has the highest line available there in the industry. Everybody else is starting to regress to a lower number, around 180.5. I think by first snap, it could be like 177.5, 178.5, and I would still play the under all the way down to like 175.5 on the Colts starting quarterback. You look at the Steelers, they've been outstanding defensively this season. Number 4, and pass EPA defense are only giving up 6.79 pass yards per attempt and 183.3 pass yards per game. So almost exactly at where this number is set. First 3 games, they gave up 155, 246, and 125 passing yards to opposing signal callers. At 246, none other than Denver's Bo Nix in that game. Outstanding performance really for him. All things considered. But you look at Anthony Richardson, he would overthrow the Jolly Green Giant on a 10-yard shallow cross. The guy is dead last right now in adjusted completion percentage. He is outside the top 23, as a matter of fact, in 5 different completion percentage categories. Inaccurate is him by definition. Only number 31 in catchable target rate. Yeah, he's aired it out. Number 3 in air yards, but he's overthrowing everybody. Even Michael Pittman, who's like 6'4", 6'5". They're not on the same page at all. You look over the first 3 weeks, he's actually been over this number in 2 or 3 games. 212, 204, weeks 1 and 2, and then took a step back against my Chicago Bears last week for $167. But man, He's just missing his marks consistently. And now you're facing arguably the best defense in the NFL under Anthony Richardson, 183.5 pass yards against the Steelers, minus 114 at FanDuel. Lundy, fade or follow?
I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back. And as soon as it hits about 177, I'm playing the over, Brad. I'm fading you on this one.
Okay.
I look, he does stink, and I understand the frustration that a lot of fantasy owners have. However, I think if this number gets down below 180, and to your point, BetMGM right now has it at 180.5. I think we're going to see it creep down to the 170s. I got to be honest with you, man. If it gets down to where it's below 180, I'm going the other direction. I'm going to take the over. I think he'll stay under 200, but I think that it's going to sandwich right there in between those two numbers, somewhere between 180 and 199. So I am going to fade you, good sir.
Anthony Richardson continue to overthrow everybody and their damn great grandmother.
Number 3.
Numero tres here on the Fade 5 Friday edition of the Countdown with my favorite bets on the board. Saquon Barkley worked him quads, son. Give me the over 80.5 rush yards. There, the alt market taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Western Florida at a plus 110 juice. And I pulled this from DraftKings Sportsbook. I may get a little sprinkling too, Lundy. A little early. Bonus time. If you want to ladder this thing to like 90 yards and get an additional higher plus odds, you want to ladder all the way up to 100 rush yards. 100 rush yards right now at BetMGM is plus 240. You a buyer?
Oh, Brad, I bet it yesterday.
On the 100 yards?
Yes.
Yeah, smart man.
Yeah, I already bet it yesterday. I took the standard line like what you're talking about, but I already laddered it up to the plus 100. I got plus 235, so the fact that you got 240 at BetMGM, that's awesome.
Getting back to this one, Lundy's going to follow me, obviously, on the lower threshold here on the over 80.5 rush yards. Again, you're still getting that plus money right now at DraftKings. Tampa may or may not have Vita Vea in uniform. He did return to a limited practice yesterday, monitor practice reports, but I don't think it's going to matter worth a damn if he is in the lineup or not. Obviously, if he is out of the lineup, it makes him far more vulnerable there in the trenches, but it could be a lot of off-tackle runs if he is indeed in the lineup for Saquon. Tampa number 29 EPA rush defense this season. Yeah, they're only giving up 86 flat rush yards per game of the running back position. However, they're allowing 4.53 yards per carry. Handsome mark there. And Barkley, top 15 yards after contact per attempt. Top 7 in total missed tackles for Philadelphia. That offensive line has a collective number 5 in run blocking efficiency so far, according to Pro Football Focus. Saquon doesn't leave the field. Is getting 91.4% of the opportunity share in the first 3 games. 109 on the ground, 95 and 147. All I need is 81, and we're cashing in at plus 110 there at DraftKings. Lundy, I already know the answer, but we got to do this because that's kind of the name of this game. Fade or follow?
So I'm going to follow you on this one, and let me give you a couple more reasons why. Folks, the Broncos backfield is a papier-mâché art project from your 6-year-old right now. It is just being pieced together. Javonte Williams is not at all what they had hoped he would be. Audric Estime, who I think they would like to have there, is currently unavailable to them. And the Broncos still went for 136 on the ground and averaged 4.9 a carry last weekend against Tampa.
Yep.
And a lot of that was because Vea was out. Okay. I understand that, but I think even if he does play, Brad, I don't know that he's going to be 100%. And frankly, if he's out there, Saquon's a hell of a lot better than anything the Broncos have on their roster, and they went for $136 against this team. So I think some of those things cancel each other out. That's why I like the 100 threshold, and I definitely like this threshold.
Yeah, Barkley certainly going to earn the treats. There's no question about it. Hey, you want to snack on some more bets, don't you? I know you do. Go to thegamingjuice.com right now and sign up for a free account. Again, 100% free, absolutely no excuse. We got outstanding college football content there right now. I break down some of the marquee games this week from Ben Wittenstein and also Nate Jacobson. The college edition of the Fade 5 podcast, they taped on Wednesday, is also live on the site. So if you can't get enough of this stupid broadcast, we've got a different edition of it all college, all the time, from those outstanding young gentlemen cranking out some amazing content right now at thegamingjuice.com. My free spreadsheet is available, all my picks. I think I'm up to about almost 30 bets, and that list is growing here NFL Week 4. Lundy's free spreadsheet picks also available on that side. Hockey season right around the corner. The gifts are going to be early and often on that spreadsheet, to say the least. You get it all right now. My fantasy content as well. You want to ask me a question? You could do that for free. You got to sign up for a membership, but it's still free. Again, you have no damn excuse. Go to thegamingjuice.com right now. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
All right, numero dos here on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's go to the Sunday night throwdown. I'm actually really excited about this game between the Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens. We got scoring duelists under center for both of these respective franchises. But I'm going to go kind of off the grid a little bit with a name that you may not have predicted I would actually lock in a prop on, and it's Justice Hill. Give me the over on the scat back. 14.5 receiving yards. There the Baltimore Ravens at a minus 114 juice. And I pulled this from FanDuel Sportsbook. Now, if you're checking out the always free, always transparent spreadsheet, I grabbed this a couple of days ago at BetMGM at 13.5 when it opened. I would play this up maybe to like 15.5, quite honestly. You look at the Bills, they are numero uno in pass EPA defense. They've been outstanding in downfield coverage, which plays into this prop potentially hitting the over. I think Lamar Jackson is going to read, recognize the guys are being blanketed down the field and checked down probably 2 to 4 times to Justice Hill in this game. And if he catches a couple of passes, I think he's going to go for at least 15 yards. A guy that, should be able to do damage against this Buffalo defense. It's given up 6.3 receptions per game and 54 receiving yards per game just to the running back position. Again, it's all about how strong those DBs are down the field. 4 RBs already gone over this number against them. And you look at Justice Hill, 8.7 routes per game. Okay, he's not exactly working up a lather game to game, but still seeing 14.1% of the team target share. He's averaging 8.3 yards per reception. All we need is 2 catches and we cash based on the average. A guy that is number 5 in yards per route run at the RB position, 3.19 there, catching 83.3% of his targets off the hand of Lamar Jackson. So far, he's already hit the over in 2 or 3 games this season. And again, I believe minimum a couple of catches, maybe a maximum of 4 grabs. So even if he hits that minimum, I think he's going to get enough yards for us to count our winning. So numero dos on the Fade 5 countdown today. Justice Hill over 14.5 receiving yards against Buffalo, minus 114 at FanDuel. Lundy, fade or follow?
I think this is sexy, Brad.
I
know we're giving up some juice, but I do like this one a lot. I'm really looking forward to the Sunday night game this weekend. I think there's a couple of really good games on the schedule, to be honest with you, but I am really excited about the one for Sunday night. I think the NFL continues to do a good job of shining the spotlight on the games that deserve it in the Sunday night primetime, and this is certainly one of them. Jump on this one. I like this one. You could also make an SGP on Sunday night if you want to. Just take him for like 10 or more. Make it a part of a couple of other legs that you decide you want to put together for prime time. But this is a great spot to start. It's worth the juice. Pay it.
Climbing up on Justice Hill.
Number 1.
All right, numero uno here on the Fade 5 countdown. Can you digs it? Hell yes, I can. I'm going to take the over on 5.5 receptions, taking on the clawless Jacksonville Jaguars and winless so far this season. This is plus money, plus 105, little baby. Seduced by the juice there, available at BetMGM. I'm all about it. I absolutely adore this play. You look at what Stefon Diggs has done this season. A guy that is doing a lot of the dirty work on short to intermediate routes with CJ Stroud, check under the pill there in H-Town. He is seeing 22.2% of the team target share. That's 8 flat targets per game. He is number 10 in catchable target rate among all qualifying wide receivers. Numero dos in total route wins with 63 already. So he's getting that separation. That's why Stroud is finding him on some high percentage throws, and they're connecting early and often. First 3 games this season, already over this prop, and 2 with 3. He had 10 catches last week. I don't know if he's going to get that high, but I think it's probably going to be a minimum of 6, 7 for him, and that's going to be an easy cash if it is indeed a lucky number on that over 5.5 receptions. You look at the Jags, number 30 in pass EPA defense, so third from the bottom in that category. And specifically working out of the slot, Diggs is going to see a lot of Jerry Jones in coverage. Lundy, get this. He's allowed a 108.8 passer rating, and he's allowed 8 receptions on 10 targets. Let's see. I'm going to carry the one. 80% catch rate already this season. Stefon Diggs got to do a hellified amount of damage. You know, it could be a little Billy Raff style nickel and damer for him. I don't care how he gets there. He could finish with like 45 yards. I don't give a flying crap about that. But just haul in 6 grabs, and we're counting our money in the end against the Jags, plus 105 at BetMGM. My numero uno play on the countdown here in NFL Week 4. Good sir, fade or follow.
I want to get to bonus time, so I'll just follow you.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. And he said the magic words, so let's go ahead and shift gears. It's bonus time! Bonus time! That was probably the biggest layup in the history of the Fade 5 podcast.
Come on, let's get to the fun part.
Yeah, Evans, shut your damn mouth. You're too long-winded. All your stupid advanced numbers analytics. I need me time. So, Lundy, you got it. It's bonus time. What do you got?
We could definitely go above and beyond that. All right, I told you I had another play that I want you to be thinking about for baseball for this evening. I already gave you Michael Harris II for his double-double, for him to be able to get the 2 total bags. You're going to pay some standard juice at this one. It's a little bit better at Caesars at minus 105. I'm going to do the same thing with Fernando Tatis over on his total bases this evening, as well as they travel to the desert to take on the Snakes. You're just talking about the background here. He's got a 364 lifetime average against Merrill Kelly. He's 8 for 22, but those 8 hits, half of them are home runs, okay? So you combine that. There's a double mixed in there as well. Maybe he gets a couple of singles, something like that. But I think Tatis does the same thing on the total bags that I already gave you with Michael Harris. And again, we're talking about, Arizona's got has got reasons to be playing hard. I think this is going to be a good game tonight in Major League Baseball between those 2 teams in the NL West. But I'll take Tatis for the total bags. And like I said, best juice available to you right now is a minus 105 over at Caesars. Brad, how about some fun in college football?
Yeah, please. You're thinking Illinois?
No, I've talked about tonight's college football, you jackwagon. All right, 2 for you. This is kind of fun because DraftKings has a 50% boost on Miami and Virginia Tech tonight. Okay. And the legs can be all the way to minus 500. Okay. So I did this one and I got it to even money, plus 100. And because of the 50% boost, I'm taking the spread for Miami down to 7.5. All they got to do is win by 8 or more. And then I'm taking the total points to 32.5. And I'm taking the over, and that's Miami's team total, 32.5. Folks, Miami might score 25 in the first half against Virginia Tech, okay? So, again, Miami's team total, 33 or more, and they got to win the game by at least 8. If you use that boost, it flattens out at a perfect plus 100. So a great way to be able to take advantage of that 50% boost. In the other contest tonight, the Huskies of Washington are on the road. They are taking on Rutgers. I'm also going to alt line this one. This one gets to a minus 115. So you're going to play some juice, but I like it anyway. Give me Washington plus 8.5. The Huskies could win this thing straight up, folks. The spread is 1.5. Okay, that they're getting. So I'm adding a touchdown to that. All Washington's got to do is keep it within the 8.5 points on that one. And then the game total, bringing it down to 39.5 and then playing the over.
Nice.
Washington plus 8.5, 39.5 for the game total, playing the over. You get that one at a minus 115. Brad, tomorrow, how about some more Big Ten? And I don't know why we're still calling these conferences with numbers in them because it doesn't match up at all. But in the Big Ten, Brad, give me Michigan, money line, Indiana, money line, Nebraska, money line, plus 122.
I forgot Illinois, money line.
Well, you wanted me to throw that in. I figured you'd probably want to, but at home taking on Minnesota. Indiana is at home taking on the Terps. Nebraska is on the road, but folks, they're playing Purdue.
Yeah.
So you put those three together. Again, all I need is money line. No spread, no nothing. Michigan, Indiana, Nebraska. All three of those teams win tomorrow. That is a plus 122. Going to Sunday, with the action on the gridiron. Brad, tell me what you think about this one. Give me Chuba Hubbard, 75 or more combined rushing and receiving yards, and give me the same for Aaron Jones.
Oh, yeah. Revenge game.
Rushing plus receiving. Chuba Hubbard, 75 or more. Aaron Jones, 75 or more. That is a sexy freaking plus 159 at DraftKings if those two things happen. Couple of reasons why. Chuba Hubbard has done it in back-to-back games, and he didn't do it in week one, but it was because, they were losing by like 175 points, and so there was nothing for him to really be able to do. Aaron Jones has done it in 2 out of 3 so far this season, and in fact, in those 2 games, he did this just on the ground. Forget catching the ball. He was already over it. And in the 3rd game, he actually went for a total of 68. So he was right there. So 75 or more for Aaron Jones, 75 or more rush plus receiving on both of these guys. For Chuba Hubbard, plus 159 over at DraftKings Sportsbook. I know you're going to pay some juice in this one at a minus 120. But I say he does it again. I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. for another touchdown for your Arizona Cardinals. And Brad, want to get jiggy with it with me? You want to get jiggy with it?
Yeah, I love it.
Same game parlay. Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown. Jayden Daniels touchdown. Plus 315, baby. If both of those guys can manage to splash 6 for me. And finally, there's not sexy juice on this one, but I don't care because I think it's going to hit and hit easily. Follow the bouncing ball, folks. Here we go. In the Pittsburgh-Indianapolis Colts game, my SGP. Give me Anthony Richardson, 25 or more rushing yards. Give me Justin Fields, 25 or more rushing yards. Give me George Pickens for 25 or more receiving. And give me JT, Jonathan Taylor, for 50 or more on the ground. One more time, Richardson and Fields, each 25 or more rushing. George Pickens, 25 or more receiving. Jonathan Taylor, 50 or more rushing. That is a plus 105. Nice and simple. Plus 105 over at DraftKings. Looking to build the bankroll this weekend. Got kicked a couple of times last week, so we're trying to build that balance back up. I yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
Yeah, that's the beauty of those old thresholds. Just got to get barely over a bunny hill, and you cash in there as a result. We're all about building bankroll here on the Fade 5 podcast. Let's get to the Team Huevos parlay play of week number 4 of the NFL, and bear down Chicago Bears. All right, let's do this Bears matchup taking on the Sheep of LA, also known as the Rams. They're due for a letdown coming off that colossal victory they secured against the San Francisco 49ers. So on this SGP, come with me. If you are buying what I am selling, leg numero uno, I'll take the Bears straight up there on the money line. Leg numero dos, give me, hey, Mr. DJ Moore, 50 or more receiving yards at leg numero trace. Correlates, energize, we're bringing it all together. DJ Moore's catching that many yards. I think Caleb Williams got there for at least 150. That's the lowest threshold you can register and add to the parlay mix, and I think it's going to cash as a result. So again, Bears money line, DJ Moore, 50 or more receiving yards, Caleb Williams, 150 or more pass yards, plus 152. Rolling the shoulders, getting seduced by that juice there at DraftKings Sportsbook as a reason. The only reason that I'm going to give you to tail all these legs, LA, number 31 in pass EPA defense. They're rubbish. Bears are going to win that sucker, and I think DJ Moore and Caleb Williams are going to have standout performances. So we shall move on because I have so many more bets to cover today. So that's a Team Huevos parlay play of the day. Elsewhere in bonus time. We're going to look college football tonight as well. Lundy, I'm going to live in the middle. on that Rutgers and Washington game. I took the Huskies plus 10.5, and I'm taking Rutgers plus 3.5. So even if Rutgers loses this game by a field goal boot as time expires, I'm still cashing in. That's plus 105 at BetMGM. So I'm feeling that's a very kind of like safety first way of playing that matchup.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to be able to do it. And look, the only thing that has me a little bit hesitant when it comes to the Huskies, even though I do think the Huskies have a chance to be able to win it straight up, is thanks to all of this conference realignment, holy crap, they have to travel a long way to play this game.
Yeah, they really do. And that's going to play a factor, those cross-continental trips, to say the least. Elsewhere, bonus time. I'll rapid fire these off and give you a quick reason why I like it. Al Lazard, give me the over on 2.5 receptions, taking on Lundy's Denver Broncos. That's minus 105. Lazard sees a lot of action out of the slot, which means he's going to get a lot of Jaquan McMillan in coverage, who on 14 targets has allowed 12 receptions, an 85.7% catch rate, and Lazard in rhythm with Aaron Rodgers. They've established that rapport stretching back 30,000 years ago. He's got a 137.5 passer rating when targeted and has caught at least 3 balls in 2 or 3 games. Going from Aaron Rodgers' current employer to his former employer, I love Jayden Reed of the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to bet on him in the alt market at 50 or more receiving yards, plus 110 at BetMGM. Yes, he's taking on Minnesota. Yes, the Vikings number 5 in pass EPAD, but it's all about the mano-a-mano matchup. Seeing action primarily out of the slot. Got to get a lot of Byron Murphy in coverage, who's allowed the second most yards of any DB this season. So I think Jayden Reed with Jordan Love likely back under center. He's got to get at least 50 yards through the air, which he's done already in 2 or 3 games. Did it last week with Malik Willis at the controls. DeAndre Swift, his days may be numbered in Chicago. Going to see some more Roschon Johnson. You've seen the rush yards prop tumble down the mountainside this entire week, but you can still get this. At least I saw it yesterday. I took DeAndre Swift under 11.5 yards for the longest run. Now, I grabbed it about 3 days ago at 12.5. I would take this sucker to maybe 10.5. He's only gone for 8 or more yards on his 37 rush attempts. One time he's gone past 8 yards. That is it this entire year. He's one of the worst in the league in terms of yards after contact per attempt. Really more of a scat back, number 46 in yards created per touch. I know the Rams stink in the trenches, number 30 EPA run defense, but Roschon Johnson, big body guy, really gets north and south in a hurry. The Bears are come out and said they got to see more of him. He might have fiery fingers, and if those digits are aflame, DeAndre Swift's going to be standing on the sidelines for much of this game. So I love the under there on longest run for Swift on 11.5 yards. And I pulled that at minus 130 juice there at BetMGM. And then finally, last prop that I have, Zach Ertz. I'm going to take the over on 3.5 catches in a game with a lot of shootout appeal against Arizona. I grabbed that at plus 135 earlier in the week. A lot of the books now have it at 2.5. Obviously, it's just way to high heaven on that over, and maybe you want to add that as a leg in a parlay. But if you can find it in the alt market, I know ESPN Bet has alt receptions from time to time. Take it on the over the 3.5, get the plus money juice. He's done this in back-to-back games. A lot of trust there that has been built up so far between him and Jane Daniels, and that game may be first to 35 wins down there in the desert. All right. I'm out of breath, and we're out of time here on the Feed 5 podcast. Do me a favor, drop us a rating and a review at your convenience. Also, fade or follow us on the X. Always giving it to you there. Lundy at Nate Lundy, myself at Noisy Huevos. Sign up for a free account right now at thegamingjuice.com. And for the handsome and lovely Nathaniel Lundy, who surely is going to be rooting for Illinois on Saturday. I mean, his kid went there, for crying out loud, and graduated. ILL, if they pull a rabbit out of the hat at Penn State, no clothes. Maybe for the rest of my life, if they go to 5-0 and pull off the shocker special of the college football season so far, I think it may be up there with Northern Illinois knocking off Notre Dame. So anyway, I got to start mentally preparing for that contest on Saturday. For the outstanding Nathaniel Lundy, I'm Brad Evans. As always, until next time, feed or follow. That is up to you.